Welcome back to Joyfully at Home. Today we're going to make a family favorite of ours, and we're going to make something very simple, just good old-fashioned buttermilk biscuits. They're simple to make and they're great to have with a dinner if you're making sausage biscuits and gravy, or you even want them for breakfast. You can have breakfast sandwiches with them, or just have them drizzled with a little bit of honey and butter. They're great for any time. First, we want to start off with 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of baking powder. This will start to give your biscuits a nice rise. I also like to customize my biscuits a little bit with a teaspoon of yeast. Gives them a little bit of extra lift, makes them a little lighter and fluffier. And to that yeast, you want to have your food so your yeast will grow. Tablespoon of sugar. Now we'll take our pastry blender and we'll just kind of mix all the dry together. Make sure it's evenly distributed in your flour. So just like that, we have everything mixed into our flour and we're ready for our butter. We take about 1/3 of a cup of butter. You want this butter nice and cold, chunked up in little chunks. You can see here I have it cut into little squares. It makes it incorporate into your dry ingredient a little faster. And you just take that butter and break it right up, put it into your flour, and then we'll use our pastry blender to go ahead and mix that into like little coarse crumbs. As I say, these biscuits are nice and easy and quick, and you can make them anytime you need. So now we're going to just take that and start using our pastry blender and breaking up those chunks of butter even further so we can make some coarse crumbs. So now you'll see your flour mixture has got these little coarse little chunks of butter in there. It's just a very coarse crumb type mixture. And that's exactly how you're going to want that to look, because this way those little chunks of butter will keep your biscuits from being hard and dense. It creates little pockets of fat inside your biscuits that keeps them light and fluffy. Now we're going to go ahead and add 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk to this to get our mixture moistened up. If you don't have buttermilk around, you can use milk and vinegar. Milk and lemon juice will also work. You'll use your 3/4 of a cup and just add a tablespoon of either lemon juice or vinegar. Mix it in, works exactly the same. So you just go ahead and add that to your flour mixture and then just stir it together to moisten all your ingredients. So when you're almost done mixing, you're going to see it all incorporate together into a shaggy kind of a dough ball. We're going to go ahead and now take our counter, flour it just ever so lightly, and then we're going to turn this right out onto our counter. And I love, this is actually a small Pampered Chef paring knife. Literally use it for everything. It's not terribly sharp anymore because it's been around for way too many years, but it comes in handy for literally everything. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put together our dough for our biscuits. And just make sure your hands are lightly floured. And you'll want to give this a couple kneads, basically. Just kind of flip it around just a little bit, kind of make it a cohesive dough. Not too much, because if you do too much, your dough will get tough. So you see just a few turns like that. And then we'll be right back to cut our biscuits. Okay, now we're going to take our biscuit dough and just with our hands lightly pat it down. We don't want to be too rough with it because that just kind of makes it a little tougher. Now, always gentle with biscuit dough. It makes for a nice, light, fluffy biscuit. So you're going to want to pat this down to about 1/2 inch or so. If you like your biscuits higher and fluffier, higher and taller. It's perfectly up to you. If you like a thinner biscuit, that's fine, but generally about a 1/2 inch. And then you'll take a 2-inch biscuit cutter, real simple. You can use a cookie cutter, anything you like. And you'll just punch down and bring back up. You don't want to twist because then you'll get an uneven biscuit. And just punch it right down like you would a cookie cutter. And just like that, you have your biscuits. Just like that. Nice biscuits. Now you'll set these at least 1 inch apart because they will rise a little bit. You want to give them some room. And you'll get, anywhere between 8 to 10 biscuits out of a batch, which is about the right amount for a dinner. And you can take any of your remaining biscuit dough, just kind of pat it back together again for your next cuts of biscuits. So you'll go ahead, just kind of basically squish your dough back together so it's nice and stuck together, rolled back together basically, but you just want to pat it back out gently, and then you can cut more biscuits. Now that we have our biscuits cut, we've got them all on our prepared pan, which all you need is a cookie sheet, baking pan of some sort that has been just lightly sprayed with a little bit of oil spray. They're ready for your oven, and we're going to go ahead and put them in a 425-degree oven for about 15 minutes until the tops are golden and they're nice and risen. Now that your biscuits have been in the oven for about 15 minutes, they're hot and fresh. You take them out and you just brush them with a little bit of butter. Make sure the tops are nice and buttery. Go ahead and give them a little bit of that, and that makes them a little extra tasty, even though we made them with butter. So they're going to be fresh and buttery and hot and flaky and just wonderful for anything you should choose to use them for. As I say, biscuits and honey is an amazing treat. You can split these and use them in the mornings for breakfast sandwiches. You can use them as, actually we're going to use them with sausage biscuits and gravy for dinner tonight. And you can enjoy them just as they are as well. So there you are. Nice, fresh, warm, buttered biscuits.